Statue of Liberty started shaking her fist, and the eagle will fly, and it's gonna be here. Brought to you courtesy of the red, white, and blue.
It's time for Veterans Issues, the show that brings you information about veterans, military, and their family. Now here's your host, Ken Rollins.
Welcome to Veterans Issues, Ken Rollins, and we are brought to you by the Red, White, and Blue. Today's guest is Josh Kraft. He's with the City of Oxford Parks and Recreation Marketing Director, and we will talk to him about a lot of things, so get you a pen. Be right back. Welcome to Veterans Issues. Appreciate you tuning in. A rainy day here in Oxford, Alabama, that we taped this show, getting ready for Veterans Day coming up. Today's guest is Josh Kraft. He's been on here before. We've on here before talking about TBI. We may even talk about that at the end of the show, but he's here to talk about things going on at the Oxford and the Parks and Recreation, Choccolocco Park, and a lot of other things. Welcome, Josh.
Thank you, Ken.
You're the marketing director at Parks and Recreation.
That's correct. And I have a gift for you from the mayor. It's a lapel pin.
Okay.
It's got our city logo on it. And our
okay, if we can, I don't want to put that up there like that. I'll just hold it up there for the camera. Put it up there on it. Got it? Good. The Crossroads, Alabama. I like that little logo you got there. I appreciate that.
Well,
and
we see that you like stickers and stuff. So
yes, you did. How'd you know that? How'd you know that? I don't know how you can figure that out. Mickey Shadridge here said he thought I was a race car driver for a while, but I'm proud of all the things I got. I wish I had some more. You ain't got any more I can wear, have you?
I don't think
like,
so.
I'm not in motorcycle or anything. But anyhow, let's get back to what you're doing. This, the Parks and Recreation of Oxford. Are you with the marketing for the entire Parks and Recreation, or just out of Choccolocco?
Well, we do marketing with all the parks and recreation, but it's primarily Choccolocco because, you know, we try to sell sponsorships, advertisements, things like that for the park. As
a disclaimer, I was like the former mayor. I hated the idea of Choccolocco. And I did for reasons of financials and what happened with the Native American stuff that was going on. But I'm going to tell you this. I've since changed my mind about that place over and over and over. I would have never believed it turned into what it has. I go out there and enjoy the track. I go out by it's just something about going out by the creek. I go out by the creek and looking at all the history out there. I mean, it's just amazing what's in my backyard, and I just live right over the hill from it. And sometimes I want to go out there and dig in my backyard and see what I got.
Yeah, well, and we're even doing more things, and we just did it just a couple of weeks ago, where we are now on the historic mound trail for the state of Alabama.
Wow.
And they had a ribbon cutting and
saw that in the paper.
Everything, yeah. So we're doing things. It's a good fusion of the old and the new now, and we even have a lot of things out there, of a lot of historical.
Yeah, I went out there with intent to fish off of one of the pavilions, and I have mobility issues, so I can go up there into the pavilion and just chunk right over the side and catch the fish. And sometimes the fish are no bigger than that, but I've caught some big catfish. I don't know how the catfish got in there. They must have come up from the creek, Choccolocco Creek. But that said, first time I did it, I just had a piece of bread or something on my hook, and a small brim hook, and I was catching those fish, and I'd see children coming along, and I'd say, something hurt my shoulder, can you help me? I think I'm getting a bite. And then they would catch the fish that was already caught. To see the looks on those faces, man, I've had me a thing going there for a long time, but I was just entertaining the kids out there that get to catch their first fish and to take pictures and amazing stuff. But anyhow, there's lots of things that you can do out there. But one of the things is, I met some folks down at Steakhouse that were here for a tournament, and they said they were there for the third day. They talked about the money they'd spent in the hotels, and this steakhouse was not cheap. They had all those kids in there, and they was talking about Oxford ought to really be proud of us, but said we love this. And it was from Dothan. They were for a Dothan tournament, playing somebody like Enterprise from that same area. Those two teams were coming to Oxford Choccolocco Park to play in their tournament. and all those parents came with them with them checkbooks and stuff. I saw you grin.
Well, and they're coming from even further than that now. We'll have them from the Midwest states. We even have plans for some teams from Canada to come down next year and
From the
play.
Midwest states or what?
Like Missouri.
Baseball?
Baseball, softball. We even had some, we had a track and field team from Arkansas come to the track and field this year.
Well, see, to the average person, they say, well, that's Arkansas track and field. But those kids don't travel by themselves. They travel with parents that drive them fine car, buy that gas, and has got to sleep in a nice bed. So it's kind of like race weekend. The lady told me that the people at the hotel told her that they said, this is, when you guys are in town, it's like race weekend. And that's big. That's huge for the city of Oxford. That's where y'all get all that money.
Well, and the number one compliment that we get is how nice we are to them. Customer
what?
service is how nice we are to
Oh,
them.
gosh, yeah.
Customer service is great. They talk about our citizens and how great they are to us. They talk about our workers. We answer any questions, that we can. But even, if someone is going out to eat at a restaurant, like you said, and they see, they're from Arkansas or Texas or wherever, they'll go up and introduce themselves and welcome them to our city.
Wow.
So, and that's the thing, and some of the quotes that we even have from coaches and citizens and even athletes is hospitality. So I'm glad
Yeah.
that we were able to bring that to them.
I saw those kids running crazy. They had so much energy. They was outside the steakhouse. I was waiting to go in, and they had a ball playing pitch. Their parents was getting something to keep them busy, and one of the servers got mixed up in that ball pitching thing, and she was playing part of it. And I think that's probably, they told her to just be nice to it. But it was good to see that. And one thing that caught me, I went out to Chocolaca Park for the first time, and they had a game out there. I don't even know who was playing. And I heard boom chakalaka, boom chakalaka. Who started that?
That was started during our Dixie Youth Baseball World Series, and actually that was something that our high schoolers came up with when me and my coworker Lamar Carter went up there.
I
and we
figured you
started
had something to do with it, but
I didn't have that was our students that did that. So.
but it was amazing to see people that was from out of town, and they were yelling. Somebody hit the ball when they hit it. Everybody in unison, boom chakalaka, boom chakalaka.
Well, and I left them all a note on the Dixie Youth World Series on the scorekeepers, because we had to have microphones for those games, and they had to do public announcements and stuff. And I told them, I said, if after every home run, if you'll just holler out boom chakalaka, go for it. And they were students that, or most of them, including myself, which I'm not a student, but most of them were high school students, and they loved it going out there. And then by the end of the tournament, though, when a guy hit a home run and he's rounding third base, all the stands are going to holler out, boom, chakalaka.
Yeah, I thought it was good for another reason, because a lot of people can't say chakalaka. They choco loco. They don't know what that chakalaka. They look at that word chakalaka and say, that's got to be spelled choco loco or something else. So if you say, but that gives them that. Other than baseball, what else is played out there?
Oh, we have softball, soccer, track and field, cross country, football now. What did I say? Baseball. We're working on more stuff.
You have football out there?
Football's played in our multi-purpose or soccer fields, which
I've
we're looking
seen-
to build some more fields soon.
I've seen some huge crowds out there for soccer. I'd rather play football. I don't like my shins being kicked, and I've seen some of that, and then they go down. Oh my goodness! Well, we run up on a break, so I got to pay the bills. I want to go to that. When we come back, we're going to talk more with Josh about the Parks and Recreation, Oxford, Alabama. Stay with us. Welcome back to Veterans Issues. We're still talking with Josh Kraft, and he's the marketing director of the Parks and Recreation there in Oxford, Alabama. And we were talking about Chocolaca Park and some of the things going on. Have you got some tournaments coming up in the near future, or out a lot of them?
Well, we have 3 big tournaments coming up next year that are, marquee national level.
What's a big tournament?
Tournaments. We'll have the Ohio Valley Conference softball tournament again. Looks like we're going to have that one for a while, which is great.
That's great.
We'll have the Gulf South Baseball Conference. That's Birmingham Southern, Alabama A&M or Alabama State.
Okay.
Some of those. Then you'll have the regional high school softball tournament here. We'll have upwards of 60 teams, 60 of the high school teams in their postseason.
Yeah, well, see that A&M, that's up in North Alabama. Those people will definitely be spending the night for that. So that they're going to spend the night, and they're going to spend it. And the lady I was talking to, she says, and I really hate it what Oxford did, putting all these great shops out here for us to tempt us to buy. She said, I've been into Kohl's, I've been into this, and then you went through all the stores and said, we got to do something while they're out there running around. I know there's a lot of advertisers out at the park. Can I advertise or somebody advertise out there? How does that work? Who controls that?
We have sponsorship and advertising opportunities available from anywhere from $50 to $1 million.
So if somebody's wanting to tell people while they're out of town where's the right place to eat, put it on that center field line. They'll be looking at it all during the game. How about that?
Yeah, we're currently we're still making some decisions on some advertising and marketing things, but in the meantime, you can still, we always have some books available if somebody wants to sponsor. We're also working with Soul and Water to do some grants and hopefully get some nonprofit things going, so we can have some foundation type things at the park. So.
I spent a lot of time in the music business, and the advertisement of a upcoming event was always important, but till I sat up there and looked at the fence line at our league of our own and seen those signs hanging out there, I could just about at the end of the game remember phone numbers of some of those advertisers, really, because I looked at it, just superimposed it in my mind. And so what better place, a lot of billboards, you're driving past them. On TV, it runs across and it's gone. On radio, you listen for it, it's gone. But if you're looking at a sign for an hour and a half, you're probably you even got a chance to text the number and put it in your phone so you can remember when you leave there. So I say that's a good.
And we had in 2017, we had over 2 million people come to the park.
How many?
Over 2 million people come to the park.
I got behind most of them out there by the stage.
And we are expected to surpass that number this year by several hundred thousand.
I'm going to go up Cheehaw Mountain and come back through Helpland to go back.
That might not be a bad idea.
I saw something in some of your advertising when you go to a track and field. Is that something that's coming, or are you already doing it, or what?
Yeah, we're having a track and field event in December this year.
Too cold, man. Oh, you run faster when you're cold?
I guess they love it. So
man.
I'm getting married on the 8th, on December the 8th, and that one is December the 1st. So no bachelor party for me, I guess. So I'll be out there working.
You get married? Wow, I've been keeping up with y'all. I didn't know it was that quick.
But track and field. We have from March, April, May, and June. We'll have track and field events every weekend.
Congratulations to you, and give her my condolences, if you will, please.
I will.
Now, one thing I saw, and I got to ask you about this, is kayaking and canoeing. Is that going to be on Choccolocco, or is that going to be in that lake?
That's going to be on Choccolocco. It's going to start at Cider Ridge on Mellon Bridge Road.
Oh, okay.
It's going to come down. It's a good little float. It's
I know
about
there's a place
2.5
to
hours.
get out there by the bridge.
Yeah.
What about the bridge? What's going to happen there?
I am not sure. We're working on some things. I know the mayor's been talking to some folks, and so has our Parks and Recreation Director, Don Hudson, which they're doing what they can to kind of preserve some of the older things that are around the park or in the park. But the bridge, I'm not sure if they're going to redo it. I mean, it's going to be an overhaul, or if they're going to tear it down and make it like it was.
Don.
So
redo the bridge, make it where you can traverse over it safely on a bicycle, because you go over the bridge, you turn right, you do a left, you're right there at Ultra and all those other places, Publix and all this, you're in walking distance of all of that. So the people that's out there at Choccolocco just go right up over the bridge. You reckon he saw me? You'll make sure he sees that one.
And speaking of bicycles, we're also having our bike share program, which is up and running. Our bike share
that's
program.
where people can go down and drop a coin in and get the bike. You don't get to keep it, but you get to ride it.
They can scan their credit card and use the app, and it'll give them like an hour's worth of ride riding their bike.
I wonder about that because I was in New Orleans and I saw that and I thought, well, what if the time runs up? What do they do? The bicycle just falls over on?
I'm not sure. I'm not a bike rider.
When you come back, it's probably going to hit your credit card for some more money. What is it going to do?
More than likely. Well, and see, that's the great thing too with, some of these parents who've been at the park all day say, hey, I really don't feel like losing my parking spot because there's 4,000 people here. I'll just hop on a bike, go over and get me something to eat, or go over and do some shopping.
Yeah. Well, if they had the bridge, they can go on over the bridge and go right there to the Moe's. They got the Chinese place, the panda place, where they kill all them little pandas. And you'd be proud of it, people, young kids I convinced. I want to make sure I get everything. The historical markers that's there, you're talking about making it a trail. I've learned more about, there's certain places out there that everybody is watching this speech to go out there and just stop by and spend a few minutes reading those plaques because they tell the whole story about everything there. If you're wondering about those stones and all that stuff, it tells a story about everything there. There's so much history that people don't understand.
And that really is a walk through thousands of years of history at the park. Kind of what it was first, what it was, in the middle when the Indians or the Native Americans settled on it, which that was a major hub for the Native Americans that were around here.
I would find it.
And today,
yeah.
And it's a major hub again.
You would think that anywhere in that area, that there would be something up there. If you're going up toward Lori Lane and all those places, there's got to be something up there because those Native Americans didn't just sit there on the creek bank. They got out into the woods and they got to. There's no telling what's in that area, not just there, but over in Sherwood Forest in that area. Would you agree?
Mm-hmm.
I'm not going over there digging though. But
I figured you would be the one to go and rent you a backhoe and excavate your backyard.
Oh, I like Gold Rush.
Mm-hmm.
Yeah, I love Gold Rush, but I wouldn't do that.
Well, and I think that the mayor and even Mayor Smith and our council and the previous councils have done an excellent job of making sure that we preserve the history of the park and make it not only a recreational park but an educational park.
All right, we're down to 1 minute. I want to hit on something, traumatic brain injury. We missed it in March, but you're a survivor of traumatic brain injury, and you just tell me you're getting married. I mean, I remember when we were not even worth thinking you might make it through the night. And through the people over in Atlanta and all those other places, and God, you made it through it. And you're a walking testament that the TBI is survivable. And I know some other folks, Marines, they're still not doing as good as you. But I want to commend you on what you've done with your life since you've had that traumatic experience.
Well, thank you. Yeah, it was 15 years in June.
15.
And the Shepherd Center in Atlanta is where I was, which they do a lot of things with veterans with TBIs.
Sure do that.
So I'm glad that the hospital I was at is on the forefront of so many things involved with TBI. So
yeah, I got a friend that's in the Marine, he's TBI, and I'll use you as an example.
thank you.
That I tell him you can survive this and go forward, boy. Thanks for doing this. I appreciate it. We got to go to a break. Come back. I got news that you can use. Stay where you are. Get a pen. Welcome back to Veterans Issues. I appreciate Josh Kraft coming on down there. Learned a lot, and have him back on here to finish up. We left a lot on the table. Veterans Day, November the 12th at 11 a.m. Centennial Memorial Park. November the 12th, Monday at 11 a.m. Centennial Memorial Park. Be there. This is your chance to express to veterans that you do appreciate their service. Now, the day before that, on the 10th at 2 p.m., they're going to have the parade downtown in Anniston. I'm not part of that, but I wanted to let you know about it. But on the 2 p.m. on the 10th, they will have that downtown. So, and also on the 10th at the Equestrian Center south of Talladega, Highway 21. They're going to have a huge event started at 9 to 3, and it's the skydivers coming in and bringing the American flag and a whole bunch of other stuff over there with a lot of honor ceremonies. Our young Marines will be participating in it. Honoring Veterans is the title of what they're doing. That's right south of Talladega on 21. You'll see it where the horses are. That's another short term for equestrian. Toys for Tots. I wanted you to remember that. If you see the little red wagon, that's the Toys for Tots bin to put your toys in. And remember this, some of these kids would have no Christmas at all without Toys for Tots. There's a lot of people that's taking up for them. Sonda Shepherd with S&B Cleaning, she's taking up for them out at JSU and other places. So if you got, you want to take on something that's, it's kind of like the Salvation Army used to be the only place. Now I don't know, maybe it's due to economics, but the Toys for Tots is where the kids get their Christmas. So help them out if you can. And this is, I say every week, I'm going to say, if you got a loved one you would like to give a Christmas gift to, and they have everything, you don't know what to give them a cleaning. If you got your mother, your wife, or a friend, or a son, or somebody that lives by themselves, give them call S&B Cleaning, talk to Sondra, and tell her you want to give them a gift. And the phone number is 256-454-4616, 256-454-4616. Be the greatest thing you ever gave as a present, I guarantee you. So I don't get anything for that, but it's just other than knowing that you're getting some good advice out there. You got a power chair you're not using, I can use it for give to veterans to go up and down the street and up and down the sidewalk and go to their mailbox. If you got one, give me a call, I'll come pick it up. The show is sponsored by Superior Hyundai and Cadillac, not Classic, but the Cadillac place. And this is, if you going to buy you a new Hyundai or a Cadillac, take your DD214 with you, get yourself $500 off, and then turn around after you finished up all your paperwork and say, by the way, I saw this on Veterans Issues, and they'll give you another $500 off. So I saved you $1,000, and you're welcome. Just be sure and go down and see Mac and all the guys at Hyundai. VA hotline, crisis hotline, somebody that need 1-800-273-8255, and when the voice comes on, press 1. And that's for someone that's distressed. We lose 22 veterans every day to suicide. You got a veteran that needs help, call this number, 256-458-2715, or you Wounded Warrior Alabama, woundedwarrioralabama@gmail.com. Those folks will help a veteran no matter what. And this week's salute goes out to all those that will be honoring veterans on Veterans Day. And no matter what you're doing, we'll see you next week on Veterans Issues. Salute.